Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's go over a premium hard database question that I just solved on my own. So I'm super happy about this and I'm very glad that I was able to come up with my own solution to this question without any assistance. So let's go over it and let me show you how I did it. This is number 1917, Leetcodify Friends Recommendations. Cool. So this is pretty similar to my last question that I solved. So basically we want to recommend X and Y. We care if they're friends or not. And yeah, just follow the instructions. So notice that 1 and 2 are not in here because they're already in this table. So what I did is create a set and take care of that. So let's loop through the friendship table. And let's say friend 1, friend, let's just call this 1 and 2. And then we can just add 1 and 2 so that we can check later to see if it's already in scene. If not, then we can just actually add it to the result. Okay, so now we have to actually establish the friendship. So let's call this friends. And I'm going to use a set to say friends of 1 dot add 2 because it's a unidirectional relationship. And then friends 2 dot add 1. Okay, so now we have to take care of who listened to what, okay? And on the same day means we're gonna have a composite key because we're gonna have the user ID and then also the day. And then we have to make sure they're not friends using this. So let's say listened is another default dictive type set. I'm just gonna do this to make it a little bit shorter because I know my code for these problems is a bit messy. And so, cool. So now let's go over the listens table. User ID, and let's just say UID, and then the day, and extra Y because they already use day here. So listens, user ID of I, listens, day of I. Cool. So now we're going to put the song ID using a composite key. So listen of UID and day dot add the listens, the actual song. Cool. So now we can go ahead and actually make this happen because we're only interested in all the user IDs from the listens table. So let's call this cur is going to be a sorted list set of listen.keys just so we don't have any duplicates and we can make this a smooth process. I didn't mean to submit that. Cool. So now let's loop over and let's do basically a double loop. So now we have all the data pre-processed so that we can actually check for each condition. So now they're not friends. Let's take care of that first. So I like to go one requirement at a time if they're not friends. So let's get the 1, 2 first and second. Let's get their IDs. 1 ID, 2 ID is 1 of 0 because that's a 0th. This is a tuple. 2 of 0. So to make sure they're not friends, if 1 ID is not in friends of 2 and 2 is not in friends of 1, then we at least know that they're somewhat valid. And then we have to check for this. Okay, so and we have to, let's just say OID, TID is not in scene, just so we can rule out the 1, 2. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do this. It's cool. So you see 1, 2 is not in there. So now 3 or more days, songs on the same day. So we have to make sure that the days are the same. And if 1 of 1, so this matches this. You get what I'm saying. So if is equal to 2 of 1, then we know they're the same day. And then last but not least, we have to make sure they at least have 3 similar songs. So total is going to be listen of 1 dot intersection listen of 2 because we're using a composite key. So those are where the songs are recorded, and then we have to make sure the size, because these are both sets. So then that makes things easier. So if total is bigger than or equal to 3, then we can go ahead and print 1 ID, 2 ID. So we eliminated everything we didn't need, going one by one, step by step. And last but not least, we also have to, if 1, 3, we also want 3, 1. So if OID, TID is not in our answer, which we've yet to define that yet, that's fine. We can just define a list to hold the final result as a matrix. So answer.append 1 ID, 2 ID. And if the reverse is not an answer because we don't want duplicates, then same thing. At the end, let's print answer just to verify our work. I always like to do that. Okay, cool. So looks good. And it says here we can return it any order, so it doesn't really matter. Let's just create 2 columns. Let's just call the A, B for each column. And then let's just say for val and answer, A.append val0, B.append val1, 0, 1, and then create an empty data frame. Sets user ID to A, recommended ID to B, and then just return that data frame. Okay, so let's run this, submit it. And there you go, passes all test cases. So again, I'm super happy that I was able to come up with my own solution to this problem without any help and solve it completely on my own. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.